Stream start. Chat active. Shenanigans began.
She drove a bike.
Is it okay that I'm
I
supremely
wonder
jealous?
how many games made a giant enemy crab reference like this.
Yes.
I know there's at least a few.
I mean, I know of one game where you get to be a giant enemy crab. There's like a Crab of the Hill, which was like a battle royale game where you play as a crab. And as you killed other crabs, you got bigger.
Doesn't everybody turn into crabs at some point? I mean, isn't that how evolution works?
In an evolutionary sense,
you know,
yes.
Like, sooner or later, we're all just going to be crabs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Every animal is slowly turning into crabs, and every plant is slowly turning into trees.
That cute little bunny that you're petting right now, tomorrow it's going to be a crab, okay? You can be like, hey, little buddy, how you doing? And pinch. You know, that's how it works. Anyway, hi, Chad. How you doing? I'm completely
Hello, Chat.
I'm completely decaffeinated.
Is
Go
this
on.
like a... They evolve tomorrow into crabs? Is this like Pokemon, where actually if you evolve every Pokemon a fourth time, they just turn into Krabby or Pinsir?
You know which one always freaked me out was the one based on the cordyceps mushroom. Well, I forget what it's called, but it was like a crab.
Parasect?
Yeah, Parasect. Thank you. It had like the creepy, like soulless eyes.
Yeah.
And then you just have to like let it sink in that this happens to every instance of the species.
Mm-hmm.
It's just inevitable. They're all gonna be like cannibalized by these like mind controlling mushrooms. I mean, I can relate. I've got one of those.
Well, I mean, yes, it's based off cordyceps, but like, are they mind controlled or are they just born like that?
Well, it's an evolution of Hoojamajiggy.
Oh, that's right. It is an evolution of a different like crab
right.
thing. It's got like two little tiny mushrooms, and then it evolves into a thing that has no pupils in its eyes, and the mushroom is completely taken over its back.
Right. It evolved from Paras, Paras. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is a considerable amount of stuff about Pokemon that don't make a lick of sense under scrutiny. But well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I apologize.
Yeah, Pokemon, they're fictional creatures. They don't gotta make sense.
I apologize if I'm extra Jonas tonight. Don't have any bean juice.
You're always Jonas.
She has
Kind
a
of
quest.
makes me. Oh, here we go.
Those lazy boars.
Boars or boars?
What, you mean the guys that have tusks? No, not those kind of boars.
No, those are Tusken Raiders.
Need herbs from where our ancestors rest. Okay. Do.
Look, what did I miss? Rick was just doing sweet moves on the bike, right? And there were crabs, and everybody became a crab. And
why is
apparently
this?
We watched. We had a flashback where Laika was giving birth to Puppy, and Maya was getting things set up as like the midwife, and Laika was just like, "It's coming, and Maya was like, "Push, come on, push harder, you pussy."
Wow, is that verbatim?
Yes,
I'm pretty sure that was verbatim. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I see. Rather than Maya just being a crotchety old woman now, it's like, no, she's always been an asshole.
Is somebody who's a dude doing midwife stuff a mid-husband, or how does that work?
No, I think midwife doesn't actually care about the gender of the person. It's just the person who assists in the birthing.
Okay.
Again, I recommend doing Maya's quests because you get a good thing at the end.
And orange.
Orange.
Boxer says there was also DRG in the mix. Oh, you had a little rock and stone moment.
Yep.
Oh, that's Maya. Wait, it's big. Another coyote, or?
Oh, this is when Laika was putting her motorcycle together.
Oh, I get it. This when she was a baby. She's so grumpy. Look at her. She's so grumpy. She's like, hit me to 5'8". Where do you even get supplies?
Carved myself out of my mother's. Oh.
Oh, I see.
Huh.
Bikes are inheritances.
Kind of. So Laika's bike is made out of her grandmother's bones. And
All right.
presumably, then again, your bike's a piece of shit. Yeah. Thanks, Maya.
So, boy, I'm assuming it's just those white parts, right? Or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, she was maybe not the best mother.
Look at her. She's got baby's first jumpsuit. Being a kid in any kind of post-apocalyptic scenario would absolutely suck. Like, yeah, it sucks to be an adult or anyone in, a post-apocalyptic place. But I mean, I feel like being a kid in a place like that would just extra suck. Well, this is some quality parenting. Anyway, how you doing, chat? Did you enjoy GDQ? Yeah, I hope that never happened.
Is this story about generational trauma?
I mean,
Fate is an analogy for generational trauma.
these games, these games all have that feel punk quality, and generational trauma is pretty much a given because the folks who are making the generation making these games now has very justified beefs with their parents' generation. So, it's going to be woven in there. Hell, if I made a game, I'd probably put throw some of that shit in too, just for fun.
Scold Maya for this stupid waste of time?
The Gen Xers could not live up to the baby boomers, like, life is perfect, everything is great.
Yeah.
And then they just took that with them into their own kids, their own millennial kids.
It's why we
millennial kids are trying to work through it now.
That's why we invented the catchphrase "whatever," which, if you know my generation, is kind of a front. It's just our way of saying, okay, we don't actually want to discuss this, but we feel like shit. But whatever. Kieran says the game out right now.
I didn't watch it, but I like that. Like, the entire internet is super jazzed for the peanut butter run.
The peanut butter run.
The one where they had the dog tapping on the control pads.
I thought I saw some tweet about obliquely referencing that, and I was like, yeah, whatever. You're making a joke, right? I haven't actually seen.
Nope, it was a guy had trained a speedrunner guy had trained his dog to step on these little control pads to get through this particular part of a Famicom game that was supposed to require Rob, but instead of using Rob, he just has his dog do it.
Okay, now hear me out. House Pets arc based on that. Okay.
What, that Peanut becomes a speedrunner?
Yeah, the peanut butter sandwich run. I'm just saying. Fund it.
Who would be his
Anyway,
rival in that?
I slept through GDQ again. What did I miss that was cool?
Nothing.
Would Bino be the rival that, like,
yeah,
he keeps trying, but, like, literally all of his times are, like, an hour longer than everybody else's?
Yeah, I mean,
and DV Sanchez is the one who, like, actually can compete with Peanut?
Anyway, I slept through GDQ again. What did I miss that was cool?
Nothing.
I mean, all of it. I don't know. Like I said, Tears of the Kingdom wasn't like the big last run. That was, I believe, Final Fantasy V, but like Tears for me was the conclusion of AGDQ. I think that's the last one I watched.
They had a really short outro this time, and I think that was good because a lot of the past closing ceremonies felt like they were like 20 minutes too long, where everybody was just kind of hanging out and they were going through a lot of unnecessary stuff. But this time it was just like Spike was like, "We are back," and that was it. Tears of the Kingdom run was cool. Risk of Rain run was cool, although I have not been able to find out. I've not been able to locate any of the techniques the guy used. I've been trying to find a summary of them because I actually want to try some of them myself. Like that one where somehow he has like this absurd multitude of he triggers the he triggers his elbow, and then this crowd, this mob.
That was one of the artifacts.
Oh.
That instead of spawning a boss, it'll spawn a bunch of elite mobs.
Oh.
So there were only 2 more games after Tears. For some reason I thought GDQ would last 1 more day.
No, it always wraps up on Saturdays.
The weird thing about summoning the elite mobs is that if you have that 57 leaf clover that causes drops to happen when you kill an elite mob, you get a bunch of chances for drops to happen.
Yeah, and that pretty much, when you have that many goodie boxes to choose from, it's pretty much...
Yeah, he left so much stuff behind because he didn't need all of it.
Right. But, yeah, I was looking at that like, how did he do that? Because I played that game a lot. I kind of put it down lately, but for a while I was really binging on it.
Are you talking about Danger of Precipitation?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes. Nah. So shotgun.
But yeah, what else was cool? I missed a lot of it myself because I just was sort of tuned out this time around. But there were a couple of good ones that I really enjoyed. Well, obviously, the Tunic run was the craziest thing ever. Rad, I talked with Rad a little bit. He showed me some cool behind-the-scenes stuff. He mentioned how like the tech crew, they're like ninjas. They're always they're always on the verge
of Mario 64 on drums. Jonas.
I did not. I did not know. I'm gonna go back and watch some of the runs I missed. Like on the weekend. But yeah, there is an absurd host, an absurd range of technical difficulties that can go wrong during GDQ, and the tech crew is just like they're on it. They're ready for anything. It's and that's really impressive to me.
Yeah, you think of all the times you like join a voice call and you're like, can you hear me? Can you see my screen? Hello? And it's like, cool, that's for one person connecting to one other person.
Right.
I need you to connect like 15 cameras and 15 microphones to like 80,000 people and have it work flawlessly.
Right, because it's also like if you watch any of the much older GDQs from like 2014 and before, they had lots of technical difficulties. So they have definitely improved their style.
Yeah. And bear in mind that they're also working with console systems that are 40 years old and older in some cases, like me. And it's not like
there was one. I forget what game it was. Was it Mario 64? Or was it a different game where the console just started making the image yellow, and they're like, they're like, oh shit, is this console about to die?
Yeah, and you can't
turns
exactly...
out it fixed itself like 3 minutes later, and they're like...
Right. And it's not like modern systems where you can just... You can go into... You can boot in safe mode or, do some console shit or other
yeah, there's no
stuff.
OS access for something like that.
I mean, some of the games do have debug modes, but, like, you wouldn't be able to, like, do that on the fly, especially not with the hardware. As I understand it, back in the day, they had separate hardware-based diagnostic tools that they would use when testing stuff like the prototype NES and Super NES and whatnot, and prototype games. But yeah, something goes wrong, your options are limited, especially during a live event in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Well, maybe not that much, but you get the idea.
No, it's definitely hundreds of thousands.
Is it really 109?
I think at the low point it's like 60,000. At the high point it's like 250,000.
Jesus. Yeah, mad kudos to Rad and all the crew for just rocking it. I asked him if he was nervous, and he said no. He was like I watched him. I thought, okay, he's cool on the outside, but nervous on the inside. But no, he was just 100% chill for the whole thing. He was just in the zone.
I mean, if you practice enough, you can basically shut everything out.
For being in the first one, it's maybe a little awkward, but like for a lot of those runners, like if they run on Thursday, they spend all day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the practice room just playing the run over and over and over.
God, can you imagine?
Like, I can't tell you the like half a dozen times where somebody said, oh yeah, we got a new world record in the practice room earlier this week because they've just been playing it all week to make sure they're ready for the run. And they ended up getting like really good luck on their practice runs or whatever.
I sat in with Rad on one speed run at one point, and it's a whole other universe. It's like bullet time in the Matrix. You really just... I couldn't do it. I absolutely could not do it. It's fascinating. Like, it's, a lot of it is just like breakdown and analysis, and then just repetition and fine-tuning different segments and whatnot. But it's still, there's so much precise timing involved. I not do that. I mean, maybe for a game that I've played for decades, like Mario Brothers, but that's probably it. And even then, no promises.
Liquor Challenge says, wasn't there a Mario 64 run where a glitch happened that was like a 1 in a trillion thing because of something happening on a molecular level?
Oh,
that was for not Mario 64. That was for original Mario Brothers.
No, there was one that happened for Mario 64.
Okay.
Because
the one I'm thinking
there
of
was
for
like
Mario Brothers,
a single bit flip that caused Mario to teleport, and there was like a bounty for glitch hunters to see if they could reproduce it, but the only thing they could conclude was that a cosmic ray just happened to flip a bit.
Right. Yeah. Like that's what I like some stray neutrino or something just went boop, and like it adjusted Mario's height, or not his height, his altitude, his z-axis positioned by some arbitrary amount, and he was suddenly up in the air.
Mm-hmm. The one I know of is that there was in the original Mario Brothers. There was a bit got flipped so that Mario was able to go through a pipe 1 frame before he was supposed to, and that is technically the fastest run ever because it's faster than the task run, because it is literally 1 frame faster than what is physically possible. because of that one bit flip that allowed Mario to go 1 frame faster.
That's kind of weird, because you can't reproduce that on TAS.
Right.
No, you
Wonder
cannot.
if it's possible to artificially reproduce such effects.
Well, I mean,
sure.
technically, you can bombard your console with neutrinos. I don't think it will be helpful, but you can do it.
Yes.
Yeah, the question.
Yes, bombarding your sticking your NES in a microwave might have some kind of effect on it, but the idea of literally going into the machine programming and being like, hey, this one, address command changes 1 bit on it. Like,
I'm also pretty sure that anything that you do that would deliberately cause neutrinos would probably be banned by the controls and modifications and things like that, because you're not allowed alternative forms of controls.
Yeah,
some of them don't even allow a turbo controller.
If you're just reproducing it using programming, like Miller said, then that's easy. That's just like a Game Genie code, pretty much.
Yeah,
if you're
I think they would also ban that, even if it's you could do that. I feel like they would ban that just for the safety of runners, because they're like, we do not need you to be handling particle accelerators.
Yeah, if you're doing something that actually generates high energy cosmic radiation, that's bad. Okay, that's bad.
That's bad.
No,
that's
bad.
very bad.
Very
that's
bad.
the thing that might get SWAT or the Energy Commission to come busting down your door.
Yeah, no, you'd be in.
Be just like, we've detected higher energy particles coming from this address. Are you building a nuclear bomb in there?
So, big takeaway, kids: don't do particle acceleration in the comfort of your own home.
Don't be like that one Eagle Scout.
Get an adult to do it, and make sure it's at CERN or something or at the Large Hadron Collider. Okay. Jonas says.
I do not even know where I'm going around here. I just know.
I
need to find
Lordy,
this
it's the Dragon Quest hot plate thing all over again? What the fuck is that?
Oh, that's a really weird one. I do not remember what system that was for. Yeah, okay, that was a Famicom. You put Famicom on a hot plate, and it ends up corrupting certain bits. And those are they're very specific. It's pretty, it's somewhat reliable.
I want to imagine that this happened by accident with some gamer who was just really absent-minded and was like, I should move my Famicom over a little bit. Oh, maybe onto the hot plate. What's that smell? Oh, that's an interesting glitch. And then it bursts into flame. And he's got this little fire in his apartment. He's just like, I gotta write this down. But yeah, no. My understanding with speedrunners is that they have the mentality of.
Okay, it does give me error. Does it give me error on this side? A little.
If there are possible permutations of things you can do in any way with all the different inputs in any place in the game, it has to be tried at least once. There is no linearity other than the fact that eventually the run has to end. Everything else is just, have we tried every button and every button combination in this spot? Oh, good. How about this spot? It's like, it's a different world.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Apparently, if you overheat the console, something goes weird when it starts up a new game, and that it will actually start you at level 99. And what is usually a 3-hour run, you can reduce down to 22 minutes because you just kill everything instantly.
These kinds of hacks make me think of those moments in Doctor Who when the Doctor just he's piloting the TARDIS through time and space, which is a sophisticated machine, and then he just takes out a rubber mallet and just whacks the console For me, I get so focused on just finishing a level that it doesn't occur to me to do, to go over to the nook with the funny blocks and do a backflip, or whatever.
That's why we have dedicated glitch hunters.
Right.
That's what they do. Like, I mean, it also takes a bit of an understanding to know, like, how games are usually made. So you can be like, well, I know that doing this sets my character into this state, and then doing this requires my character to be in this state. So what if I set my state to state A while I'm trying to do B? Right. And, oh, look, now I'm sliding through the walls.
I knew 1 or 2 glitches back in the day. Like, when you're coming out of a pipe in Mario 1, and you're holding both, like, B and A at the same time, Mario hops out, and then he kind of skids because his animation stops. So it looks like he's skidding around on one of his boots. Not that it does anything. Then the second you jump, it breaks the it breaks the technique, and he just goes back to normal animation. I also knew about the Minus World. There were like a couple other ones that every kid knew. So they weren't really all that special.
There's definitely glitches that are like, how could anyone ever figure this out, with executions more complicated than Pokemon Urban Legends?
Well, I know some of it's deduction based. Like, they understand a little bit about how the game's put together and how things are, I assume, stored in memory.
Some of it's also just like law of mass, right?
Like, but there's also like an accumulation of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like arbitrary code execution.
Like one of the things is that Baldur's Gate 3 is already pretty broken, but that's because the system is based on Divinity. And they already knew a ton of exploits for Divinity, and most of them just basically work the same in Baldur's Gate.
There are 2 big reasons I watch GDQ. One is that it's kind of vindicating because back in the day, my mother was always really down on video games as being a waste of time, and seeing people use it to raise millions of dollars for an outstanding cause is really just gratifying. I've actually tried to get her to watch it a little bit, and she won't. And the other reason is just the unique mindset of speedrunners. The way they explore, build on, and discover this stuff is just sort of fascinating. Like, very, very, it's so different from my own video game experiences.
Haven't found any thistle stems. Maybe they're over here. I don't know.
Boxer says Bop Grandma Jonas.
Rude.
I think you maybe passed by the thistle earlier. The quest items are those that look weirdly in the foreground.
Trying to think if there's any game where I've played where I was purposefully using an exploit or some kind of bug or something. Like, oh, actually, no, I do know one because I was doing it earlier today in Pal World.
Oh, yeah.
In Pal World, when you get food, it has like a timer on it, right? And after a certain amount of time, the food rots away. And you're supposed to like build fridges and use ice pals to freeze the fridges and make the food last longer. The problem is whenever the food changes inventories, like if it goes between your inventory and a storage container, that timer resets back to its maximum value. And also if you sort a container, the timer resets back to its maximum value.
I guess today's games are a lot more complicated than they used to be and therefore more easily broken.
I mean, yeah, but again, it's the law of masses, right? I think there's just a lot more games being made today. And like, there are a lot of games that you do not remember that came out many, many, many years ago that are extremely broken.
I remember a lot of NES games, NES and SNES games where they just, what's the term these days? Shovelware? It's just kind of like, wow, you guys weren't really trying, were you? I say that now as an adult. Back then, I didn't really give a shit because I was this little ADD child who would play anything.
Yeah, there's shuffleware. There's even worse is like asset flips, which are many times like just straight up scams where there isn't actually a game. You buy something and the EXE literally doesn't run.
You know, I must have told the story of the penguin to you guys at this point, right? The weird little rip-off NES system that my brother got one holiday season.
I don't recall that.
Oh, hold on. Mish Machine says 2000s kid here. Most broken game I know of is Big Rigs Over the Road Racing.
Well, that's
Did you know? Yeah, that's just Game Mill. So the company that made Big Rigs is a company called Game Mill, which, the name Game Mill definitely inspires confidence. That is the same company that made the King Kong game that came out at the end of last year.
Nice.
They are still around. They're still making games, and they are still fucking awful. Every single one of them.
It's the Asylum.
Telenova says, "Hey Miller, did you ever summon Missing No?" There you go. There's an exploit you've used. Nope.
I did.
Can you summon Missing No?
Well, you can make it get spawned.
Oh, you could force it. Okay. I just assumed it was a random, like an RNG thing that you only.
Well, no, Missing No literally just means missing number. It means that it's trying to load a Pokemon that has a number that's either lower than 0 or greater than 151.
Right. It's weird that like the game doesn't error check that, but different times.
Error checks require more code.
Yeah, that's true. And those things were slim. They were slim out of necessity.
I mean, yeah, how big was an original Game Boy game? Like, probably like 8 kilobytes or something?
I'm resisting the urge to Google it. Normally I'd be like, okay, Google. But
8 megabytes.
8 megabytes, God.
8 megabytes of ROM and then 128 kilobytes of RAM.
Yeah. My dad had Apple II games that fit on one floppy disk, which I believe was 1.44 megabytes.
Wait, no, hold on. That's Game Boy Color.
I think the original Game Boy was only like 4 megs.
God. Now I'm sitting here, right before...
Maybe even been less than that, but I mean, it also depends on the type of cartridge.
And then, like, nowadays, I always know to check for updates before we play any multiplayer, anything, because it's like, 2 gigabyte patch downloading. Go make a sandwich. But, I was going to about the Penguin. So, this was about 2010-ish? No, even earlier than that. It was maybe like 2007. It was the Christmas season. Me and my brother were up at Dad's place. And we went to the mall because, it's always funny to watch everybody frantically rushing for the Christmas season. And my brother made this little impulse buy at a questionable kiosk run by a guy in a sweater.
I trust guys in sweaters.
Yeah, I know. I mean, come on. Where'd he get that sweater, huh? The black market? Okay. And he was selling all this weird off-brand stuff. Like, it was like the 101 system, and it had little shots on the back of the box. It had shots of obvious NES games, and just stuff like that, weird rip-off stuff. But it was only like $25, so he went with it. It was, I guess, hardware-wise, it was a bunch of NES games on, I suppose, like non-volatile memory inside a really compact, probably some sort of Raspberry Pi type thing. Externally, it was just this plastic penguin, you push the beacon to power it up, and the eyes glow red. It had some Gunther from Adventure Time energy. And the advertisement, all the packaging said 100 games, but what they did was they would have Mario Brothers, and of course they removed the title screen. They would have Mario Brothers repeated as a ROM image with slight changes about 11 or 12 times. You know, one would be called like Extra Mario Brothers, one would be called Jump Mario Brothers, and there'd be little small, very cosmetic changes to the games. I think maybe the levels were out of order too. The only really interesting thing about it is it had a couple of games that I'd never heard of, like Chalk and Pop, and we had a good time playing some of those. Like I don't know if they were like unlicensed games because back then you need to have the Nintendo seal of approval, or if they were games that weren't localized or what. But there were definitely some oddballs in that batch.
Jonas, is it the one I linked you on Discord?
Let me check. Oh yeah, that's the one. Very nice. Very nice. I think that's the one. It was either that one or very similar to it. It didn't have the logo. And I don't think the controllers were the same. So maybe it was like, yeah.
Yeah, I look at that and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, it was a special time.
Go up.
No, I'm looking at the So we have in Dallas here, we are blessed to have the National Video Game Museum in this Metroplex, and I've been there a couple times. Once with Frederick. We'll definitely make that a destination for TFF. And they have a section in that museum where they talk about Action 52, because apparently they have a bunch of the original sketches and assets and stuff for that game in the museum, and so they have a little section there where they talk about it. And that's one I always think of just like, what, of all the like schlock games, this is the one that like at least kind of tried, but it was still schlock.
A for effort.
Yeah. Cream says, "Woo, Cheetah Men." Yep,
Cheetah
that's
Man.
the Cheetah Men one.
That's right. God, I remember that commercial.
No, when I was a kid, I had a bootleg Game Boy cartridge that had 15 games on it.
Nice.
And that was like one of the most robust cartridges that we had.
That's awesome. I never knew anyone back in the day who had the multi-game cartridges. I think when we moved to Los Angeles and I started going to my old video game parlor dealership place that I would hang out at after school, I got to know some kids who had some unlicensed cartridges. But yeah, that old place I used to go to is still there, isn't it? If I ever find myself on LA again, I might visit it, just because memories.
I had one of those bootleg Game Boy cartridges, but I think most of the games did not work.
No, that was like the weird thing about the Game Boy cart I had. All the games worked. They had no glitches. And we were just always wondering, how'd they fit all this stuff onto the cart?
Were the games pretty good?
They were like early Game Boy games. So I doubt most of them were like more than like 256 kilobytes or something.
God.
But with 15 of them, if you have like a 4 megabyte chip, then you can just fit them all on, I'm pretty sure.
God, you don't see lean programming like that anymore. It just doesn't happen. Games are big now.
Well, yeah, it doesn't happen in AAA anymore. There are still places that are trying to do that. If you look at a lot of people who are making games for like the play date, you've got people there who are making like 1 megabyte games.
The play date?
Yes, it is a retro console that came out a year or two ago. I say retro console, but it doesn't play any old games or anything. It's new games made by new devs, and it's like purely indie stuff. It is most notable because it is a handheld console that has a crank as one of its controllers.
Holy shit. This is really cute. This is really cute. Oh, I want one. How much is it? $199. Maybe for my birthday.
Here.
It's really cute though. I love the look. This looks like a lot of fun. I would absolutely play this in like an airplane or something. Any long trip, I'd be all over this thing.
It's one of those things that it feels like it's designed by game designers for game designers, and that it is an incredibly artisanal thing that is not meant for like market usage or anything.
It's not for mere mortals. You can't handle this thing. Oh, that's cute. It's really cute. I'm glad that this aesthetic is being continued in some form. So does the crank like power the battery? Like, do you have to like wind it up? Is that what it is?
No, it's meant to be used as a control thing. So you'll do something in the game where you have to rotate something, and it'll say use the crank.
Right. Okay. So it's like analog. Okay. Cool. Recommendation dog. Sasquatchers. I'm just looking at these titles. Snack. Balcorked. Star Sled.
And it's a monochrome screen. It's like the Kindle stuff where it's more like naturally lit instead of like a bright LCD backlit.
So it's e-ink? Is that what you're?
I think.
That's crazy. I wonder what the refresh rate's like.
Now thinking that Nintendo should release the Switch 2 with a power crank and market it as a health thing, like Wii Sports.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that, what they need is they need more Labo.
More.
The first Labo they released was cool. I want more of that.
Sorry, more what?
Labo. So it was a thing that they did for the Switch, very close to when it first launched, where they had these like sheets of cardboard that you could order, and they had pre-cut designs in them, and you would buy them, you would fold them, you'd put like tape and rubber bands on them, and they would make some contraption that your Switch controllers go in. So they had one that was like, oh, this is a fishing rod that it's got like a rubber band on it so that you can actually feel the fish pull on you or something. They had one that was a piano, and it specifically what it did is it inside the piano, the keys that you're pressing down had IR reflective stickers on the back of them, and you would point the Switch's controller's IR camera at that, and then it could see what buttons you're pressing based on, which ones are reflecting. They did that one. They also did one that was like a robot suit, where you had all these like strings and pulleys that you would put into this cardboard backpack. And then you would pull on the strings to like make your robot in the game move around, as you were actually stomping around.
Is it really innovative?
It was extremely innovative. It was very cool. And it was a thing where they're just like, yeah, we can just like come up with new designs, and like we just release another game that you download digitally, and then you just buy this sheet of cardboard that has these pre-cut things on it.
I approve of non-standard inputs. I think it's an interesting possible dimension for gameplay.
Yes.
I sorta overlooked the whole Labo thingy as a gimmick. I never looked much into it all, honestly.
I like the whole idea of it. I thought it was really cool. I would love if they came out on like Earth Day or something, if they're just like, hey, we've got Labo 2, and this time we have all of the cardboard pieces are 100% recycled material, and it's just like, great, perfect, absolutely love it.
They're
No
biodegradable. Yeah, they're biodegradable. When you're done with the game, you can eat them.
Mr. Sheen says Labo is neat, concept versus a bit much, though. Yeah, that was the thing, though, is that it was like, cool, you get these cardboard sheets, but they're like $20 per game, $40 if you get like a multi-pack, 3 of them. And it's like, yeah, you just play it once and that's it, or you know, you have a little kid that plays with it, and after about 15 minutes, they've broken the cardboard apart.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be. You get it out of love, especially because it's $130. But like I was just looking at it now because I was thinking like, oh, I got a Switch now. I can, you know, indulge my inner child, but maybe for my birthday. But yeah, I mean, this stuff like Miller said, it's gonna get destroyed or it's gonna go in a crate in the attic, you know, after a while.
I don't know. I just thought it was a cool idea of like, hey, here's how you do this like Toys to Life, digital Lego sort of thing where you marry physical building toys with the digital experience that a lot of people want to do because they're like, oh, we want to make Legos, but Legos are too boring for Zoomers.
I'm curious, Miller. Have you ever heard of Gyromite?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the game that Peanut Butter ran, I believe.
Yeah.
Good times.
My joke was that the dog was very clearly doing so much better than Rob ever did.
You know what's funny though? Rob's time, if you're a speedrunner and you're actually using Rob, it's about a minute faster than what Peanut's doing. Don't know how. Don't know how the dog is losing a minute there, but he is. Peanut needs to improve his times.
Get on it, Peanut. Jeez.
Feliciano says they literally released a Lego Fortnite game mode and it was a hit. Yes, but that's just a video game with Lego branding on it. I mean, I want physical Legos that then also have a digital component to them.
You know, there was Lego Dimensions. I never actually checked it out myself, but I was kind of eyeballing that, like, oh, it's fun. That had both. It was sort of like, if I understand, it was like an amiibo type thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, that's something.
Drakon says, as a Zoomer, I can say I don't find Legos boring, and the guy named Glitch says, as a Millennial, Legos are boring as AF. Cool. Glad we got both camps here.
I know, yeah. All right, y'all have to fight now. You have to fight it out.
You get to fight it out.
Need of a deathmatch in channel. Let's go.
I will say I bought Legos only a couple months ago. I bought a Lego Orchid that's currently sitting across the room from me, and it looks perfect. Especially since I have, what's the opposite of a green thumb?
Brown thumb.
Brown thumb, black thumb, whatever. Every plant I've ever owned has died very quickly. I am very bad at taking care of plants.
Same.
So I am very happy to have a plastic plant. But one that doesn't try to look like a real plant. I like that it's, you know, it's doing its own thing.
Any of you have Playmobil? That
Yes.
off-putting looking Lego knockoff. I had a set.
I had that too.
I had
Yes,
a couple
I had,
Playmobiles when I was young, yeah.
I just referred to them as Clickies because I didn't know what the actual brand name was as a kid. I had a bunch. I had the Lego, the 1980s Lego Spaceman set that Benny the Spaceman from the Lego movie came from. In fact, I still have my blue helmeted Lego Spaceman. He's sitting on my desk right now. Yeah.
Benny.
Yeah.
Spaceship.
He looks almost very similar to Benny. In fact, he's got the space logo. The orbital logo is smudged out because, you know, it's been years. And I think I replaced his pants, or is it his legs? I don't know. But yeah, Mom might still have some of my Legos. I don't know, or they might be in like a storage unit somewhere. But good memories.
There was a PS2 Playmobil-themed video game, Hype the Time Quest, that was basically an Ocarina of Time clone, and it was actually really good, way more than it had any right to be.
Huh.
What was it? It was Lego Island was the video game from like early 2000s that people were like, oh, I remember that so well.
Oh, Boxer wants pictures. All right, hold on. Let me get my camera. Oh boy, oh boy.
Is what I'm looking for. Camilla's special herbs. They're supposed to dress shit up, in Camilla's words. The scent is, I don't know, relaxing?
Special herbs?
What is that, lavender?
I was thinking.
It's a proprietary mix of herbs and spices, optimized for the best possible chicken experience you could possibly imagine. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't listen to me.
Did you say the best possible chicken experience?
Yeah. You're not ready for the best possible chicken experience, Miller? Well, that's your problem.
I don't know if I'm ready. It sounds like something I want to experience, but like, I feel like I'm gonna need to hold someone's hand while I'm doing this.
Well, can't help you there.
Damn. I tried, chat.
Oh my god. The lighting in here is awful. Whatever. I'm just gonna take it as is. Hang on. Let me. Am I getting anything here? All right, it's out of focus, but I'll settle for
Okay, I
that.
have it over here.
Oh, what chat was saying earlier about their favorite glitches in speedrunning and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think one of my favorite is Back in Time for the later Zelda games. That's the one where you can play on the title screen and do things you're not supposed to do while still on the title screen, and therefore you like start transferring stuff between save files.
Nice.
That is pretty meta.
It is. I also don't know why it's in 3 different games. It's in Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, and Twilight Princess, and it's like
They
these
all
should've
have shared engines.
That seems weird to me. I guess maybe it's just the rendering engine is different on them, but like Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess, I could believe that they have some engine similarities. I'm surprised that Wind Waker would have a similar engine or the same engine. Oh, look at him.
Bird.
He's ready to go to space.
He is. Spaceship! Charlie Day was amazing in that movie.
Okay, where birds came from was that place with the lots of gaps everywhere.
Boxer, yes, they do. In fact, I think they have actually re-released some of the vintage ones for absurd amounts of money that I would never pay. But if you have disposable income and you're passionate about Legos, you might want to take a look.
Skull-shaped
So when you
cave.
say space theme, do you mean like that early Lego set space theme, or do you mean like specifically NASA themed, like trying to make actual rockets?
I think at some point they did have some NASA themed stuff.
I know there's one of the like the like model series where it's like, no, this is like a very much more adult thing where we're trying to mimic some real life object. Like they've had ones for like the Taj Mahal and the Burj Khalifa and a bunch of other different world landmarks. And I know they had one for Apollo 11 where it was the Saturn V rocket and the lander and a U.S. astronaut model.
Yeah. I didn't have as much interest in the realistic ones. Mostly I kind of wanted to DIY it and have my little fantasy worlds with quasi-narratives.
Those are the ones I liked more as a kid, but I think nowadays I actually like the ones that I can sort of build them, have a nice afternoon or weekend with them, and then just put them on a shelf and admire them.
Yeah, totally. I did build the complete ship, the Benny ship, back in the day, but I got bored with it because I didn't like to just look at it. I was like, okay, what are the configurations can I make with this spaceship? I was that kid. I was just super ADD about it.
I had one of those the Pirate Treasure Island thing Lego sets when I was a kid.
Oh, nice.
So I had...
This Lego talk also reminded me, I used to have Bionicle figures. I've always been blissfully ignorant of the lore, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's Red! Oh my god, everybody say hi to Red!
Hello.
Hi, Radicun.
Hello. Never tell from a glance if I can do a flip there.
Are you getting some rest after GDQ? You did great last week.
Yeah.
Yes, that was awesome.
That was thumbs up emoji. Everybody, if you're not watching Red, then you're going to be penalized.
Then you aren't Red.
Yeah. If you're not watching Red, then you're not worthy. Red just got home. Cool.
And of course, that's also not a good enough jump. It's so hard to tell if it's a good jump or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about like GDQ highlights and stuff. It was we were just going on about like weird techniques and funny glitches, like the whole Cosmic Ray Super Mario 64 thing.
You're talking about peanut butter, of course, because the internet's alight with that run.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, I was telling them that like there are two big reasons I love watching speedruns. One is because it's extremely vindicating to see video games, a habit which my mother once derided as a big time waster, being utilized to raise millions of dollars for a good cause. So that's that's really important for me, and also just witnessing the strange kind of bullet time, counterintuitive, nonlinear analysis and methods that speedrunners come up with to find and chain together exploits. It's just endlessly fascinating for me.
Machine gunner over there.
Fedor was talking about Bionicles before. Legatron says Bionicle lore is probably why I had no problem understanding Kingdom Hearts lore. Yeah, I had like 2 Bionicles. I didn't get any of the lore from the actual product. The only time I ever experienced some Bionicle lore is there was an old Flash game on the Lego website that was Bionicle themed and it had some lore things in it. And I'm like, there is something much deeper going on here than I understand. But I hope to learn more of it when the Bionicle RPG is set to come out in like a year or 2.
Bionicle
it's a fan game that somebody's making, and yeah, it's like a fully fledged RPG where you play as a bunch of the different masks, the different Toa.
That started in like the 2000s, right? Bionicle.
Yeah.
I think at that point I was already kind of over Legos. Or at least it hadn't been long enough for me to start feeling nostalgic about them.
I do not have the map for up here.
Launched in 2001. It was discontinued in 2010 and then rebooted in 2015 for 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I think even if I'd been a kid when those came out, I probably wouldn't have been as into them because I one of the cornerstones for Legos for me was making the lore. Like, here's the spaceman. He's the good guy. Here's the guy with the biker helmet from the motorcycle set. He's the bad guy because you can't see his face. And coming up with a whole superfluous story.
See, I'm reading through the Wikipedia article, and I love the names they were going through while they were trying to figure out this thing. They started with Cybots, and then they went to Boneheads of Voodoo Island.
That didn't age well.
And then they went with Biological Chronicle, which they shortened to Bionicle.
Nice. Okay.
What are the chances of finding such a weird item in the wastelands? They're just giving this to me, huh? Okay.
Is that it? Wait, is that guy a snail dude?
Yes.
With his pack? Okay, alright. I want to make sure I was seeing that right. So there's snail.
I mean, we've seen a lot of weird people here. We have, I don't know if you've seen it, Jonas, we have one person in our village who lives with us, and we don't know if they're a living creature or not, because they have a TZ for a head. Everything else is covered.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. It's, what's his name from Furikuri? Kanti.
I'll take your word for it. I have not watched FLCL.
First season's great. Don't watch the rest of it. It didn't happen.
There's a whole lot of Trigger projects that I haven't watched, even though I'm hype as all hell for Panty and Stalking Season 2.
Furikuri was actually Gynax.
I'm
I'm pushing my glasses up on my face to do the nerd gesture. Yeah, the first season was Gynax, and then the rest of them were done 20 years later by Production IG, and they suck. You guys thought I was just a big furry nerd, but I'm also a little bit of an anime nerd. I'm polyplopaloid. Yeah, I don't know.
Polynerdle?
I'm polynerdle. I sleep around. What can I say? I'm a whore.
Wow. Alright.
I like to have my finger in one fandom and my thumb in another one. And maybe my foot in another one at the same time. It's hot.
See, now you sound like a Ringle.
I just don't listen to anything I'm saying right now. Like it was future because the guys who really want to make Transformers anime. I can't speak to that. I do know that there were a bunch of Transformers shows that were only aired in Japan. If Collector Kanan was here, he could probably explain all those at length.
I don't know if Trigger necessarily wants to make a Transformers anime. I mean, they've definitely made some stuff that I could believe is similar to that. Alright, so let's see. The main things they've done are... The first thing they did was Inferno Cop. Yeah. Which, if you want to see that, that's just on YouTube. That thing is fucking hilarious.
Yep. There was Kill a Kill.
Yes, then there was Kill a Kill. Then there was Little Witch Academia.
Which I love. I love that
Space
show.
Patrol Luluco, which was kind of meh. And then Brand New Animal.
Yeah. You know, everyone was like, people were like, "Look, Joe, this is kind of hot raccoon girl," and I'm like, "Okay, first of all, she's a Tanuki."
And then most recently, they've actually, I don't know this. They did Dungeon Mishi, Delicious in Dungeon.
Oh, Delicious in Dungeon. Yeah, I remember hearing about that and just sort of going, maybe. Says Shiro hot though. Yeah, Shiro was hot. He's a tall brooding wolf guy with a past and a penchant for beating the crap out of people for justice. Of course he's hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know. He's just like, I'm so moody and I've got pecs and a collar, you know.
Dang it, is it down there?
He literally says that in the first episode, really. Take my word for it.
Does he even show up in the first episode?
can't remember. I think maybe he like, I know that like,
Not down that way.
he shows up early because he beats the crap out of a bunch of other beast guys. Thank you, Boxer. Didn't even tell you to clip it.
So rude. So rude.
But yeah, B&A was okay. I felt like they played it safe when they could have gone a little more cuckoo bananas with it, like they do with some of their shows. Like, you can tell with some of their shows that they just don't give a shit, and they're, like, you know, they're just having fun.
Yeah,
And
Kill la Kill, Inferno
Kill.
Cop, and Panty and Stalking definitely have a certain shit poster streak to them.
I love stuff like that, where you think, okay, maybe if I watch it again, it'll make sense. Nope, it still doesn't make sense. It makes even less sense.
Kill la Kill is one where it feels like it's supposed to like have this really intricate lore, and then you try to pay attention, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
You have to go around.
Still haven't watched Gridman. I probably should. I'm the worst fan.
It's such a bad fan, Jonas. You're not a nerd at all. You don't watch all the things.
How can I even look at myself in the mirror? Yeah.
Doof.
But yeah, I believe you, Legatron. I totally. I mean, that company came out of Gynax, and Gynax started out as just pure fanboy stuff. Like the Gynax's first thing, their first fan thing for a convention called Daikon, which was like 1983 or something, had this cute girl in like a Playboy bunny outfit with the bunny ears, like punching the hell out of the Death Star and stuff like that. It was ridiculous.
Is that the one where it's the bunny girl riding around on like a flying guitar, and then there's like every property you can think that was popular in the early 80s?
Yeah. Well, they did two of them. They did so it was one of those. Yeah. Good times. Ashley Gaming says, by the way, it's Squirrel Appreciation Day. Where's this so I can appreciate him? This is he's fighting evil.
Yeah, unfortunately you won't be able to appreciate this, but you know what you can do is you can appreciate this squirrel.
Oh yeah, there you go. Squirrel West.
Quest.
Oh no, Squirrel West got yeeted. R.I.P.
Squest and her squoobs.
Wow. Well, that's a thing. Thing now. I ship it.
I've never heard of FLCL before. What is it about?
Like,
so
dude gets infested by alien thing, and then girl tells him he has to use the alien to like save the world or something.
How do you even sum it up? The protagonist has a dimensional portal in his forehead. And through it come all sorts of sort of biomechanical robot things, which are of interest to the other main character, Haruko, Haruko, who is herself an alien, looking. Well, I don't want to spoil all of it, but she's looking for something very specific. And I think, in many ways, it was kind of an excuse for Gynax to explore a lot of strange creative ideas. They just strung together and made it work somehow. Now, does arc is kind of a coming of age thing, because he kind of lives in the shadow of his older brother, who went off to America to play baseball, and his brother's ex is kind of hanging out with him and hitting on him a little bit. And he has to kind of figure out who he wants to be. But it's also got aliens and, robots and a lot of other weird BS that's hard to describe. I definitely recommend it, though.
I think I understood none of it.
That's fine. Even when you watch it, it's hard to understand. And that was like Pete Gynax for me when they made stuff like Abe Nobashi and Furikuri, where it was just like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. I'm going to shut off my brain and enjoy it. I sort of live for that sort of thing. It's,
What, Jonas? You like weird, nonsensical things?
Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of later Gynax stuff that I just kind of gave a miss to because it wasn't as much fun. Like, they were doing adaptations, and there was one that they co-produced with Subaru, and it was just not as much fun. It felt a lot more by the numbers, and I'm really in for the weird shit. I also love some of Studio Ghibli's stuff because it's just so it's like this cornucopia of bizarre imagery, like Spirited Away. I mean, my attitude is basically, you're only here for so long, you might as well enjoy the weird shit, You can always have the grape and cherry and orange flavored stuff, or you can have the pina colada once in a while. Your choice.
Radikun says the best of that is Nichiju. Yeah, Nichiju is also one that's like very silly and abstract and yeah.
Oh, this. I haven't watched this, but I've seen like frames from it. I know this because I see this character, the blue-haired character in memes and shit a lot.
Hello, everyone. I wish I were a bird.
The style of this reminds me of Azumanga Daioh, which was another really weird, random one that I enjoyed.
But yeah, there's many clips from that anime that are very good. They're very it's very much like almost trying to adapt like a strip panel, because it feels like a lot of the episodes are just like these like 8 things happen that are each a few minutes long,
right,
and then just goes to the next one.
This looks late 2000s. Am I right? Yeah, it's 2006. Okay.
Yeah. The comedy and writing in it, I like that the way somebody summarized it is it's like it's the things that you would think as a like 3rd grader matter so much in the world, and if something goes wrong, like it's the worst thing ever. Nice. When in reality, a lot of the comedy in that show comes from you as a viewer knowing it doesn't matter. One person gets hurt and they like start bleeding, or like, it's a little scratch or something, or like one person gets embarrassed about something, or like trips over themselves as they're walking to school the first day, and the show treats it like it's the most terrifying, emasculating thing in the world, and as a viewer, you're like, this is just a couple of kids goofing around.
Good times.
I like the, there is one clip I remember of, like, they're at school, and there's, like, a deer that gets onto the school premises, and so their principal goes out there in, like, a bulletproof vest and wrestles the deer.
That's amazing.
Just, like,
well, if we're talking about anime, I recently read the manga of Delicious in Dungeon, and I've really enjoyed it. I mean, it's about fantasy food, and the main character always thirsting for furries and monsters.
I might check that out at some point. It does look amusing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say good things about Denji Mishi. Oh, if you want a interesting anime experience, may I suggest this one little show called Made in Abyss?
Oh God, no,
No,
Miller, why?
do not fucking watch this show. Do not watch this show.
Don't.
I'm gonna watch this show.
There is child torture
Oh Lord.
and gore. Do not watch this show.
It's weird because like
I watch Invincible and I liked it. I'm going to watch Made in Abyss.
okay.
All right, I warned you.
Captions did not get the title.
Made in Abyss. MADEINABYSS.
It is.
Made in
It
Abyss.
is a thing if you want to understand what torment is.
You know,
But that's the thing, though. It's like it's good. It's just you need a million caveats before you can suggest it to anybody.
Oh Lord. You know, there's stuff in Made in Abyss where I was like, okay, they're gonna cut this out for the Amazon version. Oh, they didn't. Wow. All right. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, I think I've heard of that one because it has a cute rabbit thing, and that is all I know about it.
Yes.
Nanachi. What is her name? Nanachi. Yes.
Nanachi's gender is unclear.
I think she uses her pronouns.
Okay. All right. Well, I stand corrected. But yeah, Nanachi. Made in Abyss. Oh God, where do I start? Made in Abyss is one of those stories.
I know about her because of that comic with Legoshi going to Subway and ending up in the back rooms.
Wow. Just wow. But yeah, no, Made in Abyss is definitely one where if you're gonna dive in, you have to read the content warning.
Great grandma's novella.
Mother of Many. That was the other game they made.
Yeah.
That was like the prequel, or like not prequel, but like they ended up relating it to this game. All right, there you go. Check. Go play Mother of Many. It's on this group's itch.io page. You just go download it right now.
Yeah, go do the thing that Miller said. Do it.
But yeah, it is a show about children going through an absolutely awful time, but they just refuse to give up. And it is like I guess it's a story about the strength of human spirit when literally your body and mind completely fail you.
And
I'm getting buffed for mentioning that comic, apparently. Do you guys know the one?
Yeah. No, I watched Made in Abyss. I found out about it because I saw really adorable fan art of Nanachi on for Affinity a long time ago, and I was like, oh, look at this cute little bunny thing right here. I'll bet this anime's just a barrel of good times. Oh, it's about a bunch of kids exploring this mysterious world. It's kind of got a little bit of that Digimon kind of style. Oh, this will be fun. I'll give it a watch.
Like, okay, at the very least, like they set the tone very early on, because I think it's in the first episode. The main character is, she's like a 6-year-old kid, and then she's stripped down naked, strung up, and then whipped in public.
Yeah, well, she's older than 6, but yes, I take your point.
And you're just like, we're doing this kind of a thing. I see.
And it doesn't let up. I mean, okay.
Is it as bad as the monster hybrid from Full Metal Alchemist?
Worse. Because the monster hybrid is like a singular horror thing. This is just, it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going.
It's this weird melange. I love that word. It's this weird melange of body horror, like angst, and occasionally really uncomfortable sort of moments.
Mm-hmm.
Not because they're gross, but because it's just like, okay.
There's definitely, it's like episodes 6 or 7. I don't know if I might spoil this literally just so people can make a judgment on it. There's a point in the show where you have the main character. You have the main character and her boyfriend or whatever. Her boyfriend's a robot who like just appears one day, and they're trying to figure out where he came from. They run into this creature that's like a poisonous boar or something, and it ends up sticking the main character in her hand, and her hand gets horribly like bloated, and they have to wrap a tourniquet around her wrist to keep the poison from flowing back into her body.
No.
And then she's just like, "Friend, you need to you need to amputate my hand, or else it's going to kill me. Like, if the poison ever gets out of this tourniquet, it will kill me. So you need to sit there. You need to take this stone, and because we don't have a knife or anything, you have to take this stone, break the bones of my arm."
Miller, maybe we don't need to get into the whole smorgasbord. Maybe I'm just
Okay. We'll stop
there. I think we've
it gets incredibly gruesome, and you just need to like.
And it
grips your stomach in a way that I've not had anything else do.
And it kind of drives you nuts because like all this grotesquerie is interspersed with this really fascinating, beautiful imagery of this underground world, which is really creative. The author comes up with all this weird ass flora and fauna that is actually really creative. And it's just like, God damn it, I'm in for the ride, aren't I? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see Scavenger's Reign?
No, what's that?
I watched it through Rick's stream because I believe he was watching that. It's almost like a Risk of Rain TV show.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about that. Like, it has the same kind of visual style and vibe as like if you took the premise from Risk of Rain and then made it not a game.
What's it called again?
Scavenger's Reign.
Scavengers. Yeah, this. Yeah.
If you like weird flora and fauna, Scavenger's Reign is basically about that, and you need to see it.
What's it? Is it on any servers? It's on Max. I'm not getting Max. Well, I guess I'll never see it. They should just
it's the same kind of thing where it's a very beautiful environment that wants to kill you extremely dead.
Yeah.
You can always hoist a black flag, ahoy matey.
Frederick, I would never do such a thing. You wouldn't download a car now, would you? Remember, kids, stay at school and don't do drugs. But, yeah, I might check this out at some point.
Ashley says, what about
I would
Grave
totally
of the Fireflies?
download a car.
Nice. Well, Italian cars were little, so it would be a short download. I don't know.
No, see, in Italy, you wouldn't download a car. You'd download a Vespa. Because you either download a Vespa or a Lamborghini, right? Those are your only two options.
Flo says, anyway, let's talk about video games. Video games? When am I going to get my Captain N live-action gritty remake? Huh? When? When, Miller?
Captain N live-action?
Yes, I want my Captain N gritty live-action remake.
Well, excuse me, princess, he says as he slowly lowers the gun to Zelda's temple.
But, alright, well, chat, what were your favorite runs from GDQ?
Yeah, what did you guys like seeing?
Yeah.
You don't get to say Radicoon. We all loved Radicoon's run. That's the free answer. That's your free space on the bingo board. All right, we got the
Nobody
air
watched.
hose strings.
Nobody watched GDQ. Well, I guess everybody only watched Brad's run. Someday.
Chat, you're making me disappointed.
Yeah, I have a sad now. Someday I'm gonna go to GDQ. I don't know when, or how I'm gonna afford it, but one of these days I'll go.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on the like being able to pay for an apartment and that kind of stuff first, and then we'll look into going to things like GDQ.
Oh, you and your Maslow's hierarchy of basic needs. Let's see how it is. I think big picture, Miller.
Think a big picture, and the big picture says we start with GDC, then we do FurCons, then we do GDQs.
Wait, GDC? Game Developers Conference?
Yes. Well, because presumably if I'm in a position where I'm making money on video games or something, I probably would need to go to GDC as like a business expense.
Oh, nice. Isn't Maxie going to that?
Yes, he says he's going there. He's going to GDC in late February, early March, and then he's coming to Dallas in mid-March. I don't know if he's going to make TFF. I think he might be here right before or right after it.
Vitamin-coated bones. Should I ask Chris why most of them look like human bones?
Wait, are humans a thing in this game?
I don't know.
I don't know. Not seeing any.
But you found some bones.
It's one of those things like, what is it? There's been I can't remember what it was. There's definitely been some kind of furry media where they said human, but everyone looks like a different animal.
Well, okay. There have definitely been a couple of games like that. I think Night in the Woods, somebody said at one point, oh, they're actually all people.
I think they consider themselves human in this world, like as in people.
The text of the game does not bear that out.
What, for Night in the Woods?
Yeah, Night in the Woods.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, fine. It may have been like secondary, like B canon, like one of the devs just said it. So, perhaps take with a grain of salt.
Yeah, or it could be, one of those name your source, Senator, and my sources I made it the fuck up.
Going down.
If FWA ever
These
does,
two peace guys just hanging out.
if FWA does more fast as first stuff, that might be a reason for me to go to that. Plus, I think I know some folks in that neck of the woods, like somebody. I definitely know people who are somewhere in that region.
Yeah, you might know one or two peoples. I mean, which is closer to Huntsville? Is FWA or TFF closer?
FWA is much closer.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's got that's the one with the cool hotel, right?
Yes.
The thing with the stuff.
Yeah, it's got the one that's got the weird spiral column thing, and then you can look
Best
up through
cons
the
are the ones people at.
Yeah,
That's true.
I would dare say at this point that if there was a con where I didn't know anybody, I probably wouldn't go, just because it's not easy for me to break out of my little introversion shell in real life and to be like, "Hi, I'm the new person." I mean,
I'm happy for all the people having fun at A&E. I would never want to go to that. There's just nothing for me to do or see there.
I do not want to go to the lighthouse.
And I don't fursuit, so I can't. Because that's always, I've noticed that's always a way to connect, for folks these days, to just, do the whole fursuiting thing and then just make that the conversation spark. I just,
Yeah, you either have to have a really good personality or you just look like a cute animal and then you can skip the whole personality part.
Oh, zing! Miller's taking no prisoners.
Yeah, maybe for one day if you live really close but otherwise not worth it, it gets boring. Happened one year at TFF. I lived in Dallas but didn't have anyone to hang out with.
There was a point in the 90s when I was a wee baby, a wee 20-something, where I could just be like, I could just be like, "Hi, I'm Jonas. My character's a raccoon. Nah, 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 nah. Here's my sketchbook. Let's connect." And it was easy. It was so easy at that point. Like I remember making several friends specifically at the Raccoon SIG, SIG Special Interest Group. That's what they called them back then, not panels. They called them SIGs. And I was able to bond with folks, complete strangers, solely on the basis of our OCs sharing.
Hold on, Rick. The animals at the playing instruments at the fire.
Oh no, he's doing with the foot. I feel bad.
There's no actual Urhu in the soundtrack.
Yeah, there is.
No, that's a viola.
Doesn't matter.
I would have thought they added an Urhu specifically because, because of Tears of the Kingdom, actually. That's like one of the main sounds in that game.
Yeah, it's true. They introduced that thing in Tears of the Kingdom. It never existed before that.
It became popular to the current age of people. It's like all the characters in that game have a significant instrument. Raru's is the Urhu. Link's is the saxophone.
As it should be. Link should have a saxophone.
No.
Link should have a saxophone.
Oh, Link should have a saxophone. Yes, he should.
It should be like...
I thought you said I should have a saxophone. I'm like, no, you shouldn't. I played saxophone for like 14 months. I don't need to go back to it.
Link should have a saxophone, but it's like this like unlockable Sheikah looking thing, you know? And it lets you do like a whole whole ocarina kind of number, except it's like smooth jazz.
God, you say that, and yeah, I really wish they were doing. Man, I'm upset they're not doing a DLC for Tears of the Kingdom.
They're not?
It really feels like they were setting up for something with a cast.
Huh.
And if you would have gotten a musical instrument that like solves puzzles and unlocks stuff, and then the end of it is you are playing a new song with Cass. Ugh, wow. I don't want that.
So they've confirmed that they're not doing a DLC?
Yeah, they said they're moving on to a different Zelda project.
Oh man, that's too bad. Missed opportunity.
I'm so upset because it just feels like there's several strands that they left hanging, and they're just not gonna finish it. Wait, well, what did Puppy say there about her sisters?
She was asked if she was gonna die like from illness like her sisters.
Oh.
Yeah, the bike weapons upgrade, but let me go check the blacksmith first. That's slightly more important.
Brad says Steel Tiki was DLC anyway. Well, you're not wrong.
Nope, still not enough bones.
Gotta get more bones.
Well, that's okay. People are full of
Grading
bones.
the gun really helps with the entire game.
I mean, yeah, that's why we want to upgrade it, but like, need more resources.
I don't want to get the bike weapon upgrade until I actually have the last weapon, do I?
I did
Yeah,
not
you don't have the
enjoy-
minigun yet.
I did not enjoy TOTK. How dare. How dare. Unacceptable.
Yeah, it will get your weapon wheel stuck if you don't fill in all the slots.
I have yet to play TOTK myself, although watching Rick play it, I really enjoyed it. But I'm very big on that kind of dynamic. So
Game was good. Oh, hey, Rad, I need to talk with you at some point in the future. There's a game I'm thinking about running, and there is currently nothing on speedrun.com for it.
What game?
So I'm curious how that process goes about, like, starting up or maintaining one of the games on there.
What game is it?
Ixion.
Ixion. Have I ever heard of
It is
that?
a sci-fi city builder game that I wrote down a path for it because there's like a bunch of events and stuff, but I wrote down a path for that game where you can make all the decisions to do all the stuff like perfectly efficiently. I don't know if there's any like tech for that game or anything. I haven't seen anybody talk about it, but like I know how to play the game normally very fast.
Okay, this actually looks really cool. I might have to maybe wish list this.
It is the closest I've seen to a Haven Celestia game, and it is very similar to a lot of the ideas I have for making a sort of Haven Celestia like colony ship manager.
It says easier to record. Do a recording of a run and
Hey,
it's gonna
define
take it
some
to
more
SRC.
bones. Do not remember where the bones are.
You could be the first one, Miller.
Be the first
Great.
one.
That's right.
I could literally just not do anything interesting and still be the fastest person.
You could have a
one.
You could have a 30-hour speed run and be like, mine's the fastest.
Well, okay, it's like 5 hours to just play the game very quickly.
Of course, if you're the first one, you could be the first one to figure out the strats.
Yeah, that would be the thing. It feels like a game that could be broken very easily. See, okay, so I know it's a game that can be broken easily because I did run into a bug once where because what you do is you land in a solar system and then you have to do some quest line in order to recharge your ship and then jump to the next solar system. And each solar system is one level and there's 5 or 6 levels. I remember getting into one glitch state where I jumped to one solar system and my ship was still charged and I could immediately jump to the next chapter. And I'm just like, okay, if you can do that intentionally with consistency, then now you've got a speed round. Because now you can start skipping chapters.
Somebody write that down.
But I have no idea how I did it, and I have no idea how I would, do it again.
How long the beats say? Okay, so minimum 27 hours. There's your starting point. See if you can do it faster than 27 hours.
I can do it faster than 27 hours.
I don't know. You can talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? I don't know why I'm saying it like that.
I've got 42 hours in this game, and I've beaten it like 3 times. I think I could do this in less than 27 hours, did you say?
Oh, nice.
Maybe get military rations for the material boost.
Yummy.
Maybe. Green jackfruit.
The record on Mario 3, it's gonna be like 5 minutes or some shit. Oh, okay. thinking about like what would I ever try to rerun. It would probably be an NES or SNES title. I love that these speedrunning times go all the way down to the millisecond count. That makes me happy.
They usually only track that if they have to.
Shoot.
They're bouncing
Excuse
the
me.
mines.
Excuse me for just a few minutes. I'll be right back.
Also, Ixion, very good speed game because there is a side quest you can do in order to get a dog, and it gives you a permanent +1 mood buff for the rest of the campaign. So clearly, you could have a side category that is dog percent. And it's just how fast can you get the dog. Oh, that complicates things. He's using that guy's human shield.
You just jump higher.
That's bullshit.
Not if you forego ethics.
Ah, yes, the Geneva suggestions. Which, in Power World, you have to give your world a name, and that is the name I gave my world, is the Geneva suggestions. And yet, I have been, probably not cruel enough to my pals.
I still want to know what you think of that game.
It's like 5 different games mashed into one. It's funny how little original ideas there are actually in the game. The movement is Breath of the Wild. You literally can climb up any surface. You have a stamina meter and a sailcloth thing. The mounted movement is exactly the same as Elden Ring, which I was saying earlier. The mount literally has the exact same animation for the double jump that Torrent does.
Yeah, from what I've read, the dev's whole thing is plagiarism.
The resource gathering and building and all this stuff is exactly like Ark.
Back.
Hello, back. I'm Biller.
Oh!
Anyway, I was talking about my thoughts on Pal World, and I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. It's okay, but it's like there's nothing original in the game, surprisingly.
I'm probably gonna play Power World. I have no problem with folks who want to play it, but I don't think I'm gonna try it myself. Aside from the fact that it's beyond my hardware specs.
Yeah.
Like, my machine would go. My machine would scream trying to play that. Hell, there are games these days that make that happen anyway. Satisfactory was making it grind a bit, even at the lowest setting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Apparently you can capture people in Power World.
Yep. You can capture anything, any living thing in a PAL sphere, and then it becomes a PAL. That includes a couple of things. If you capture people in a PAL, it means you can put them to work just as you can any other PAL. It also means you can butcher them. Just like any PAL. So I don't know.
Come on, everybody was like, I want to play Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Does Team...
That's a part of this that everybody wanted from this, is a chance to be the bad guy in Pokemon.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it. They put in the perfect blend to have it market itself virally and also appeal to Pokemon nostalgia from the people who liked them as kids but got tired of the games being samey and uninspired.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot. I mean, I can't speak to that because I came into it sideways via Sun and Moon and Go, so I don't know if the games are samey or not.
Yeah, they've really not innovated for a very long time. Like, Legends of Arceus was a breath of fresh air because it was the sort of free-roaming Pokemon game that everyone kept thinking the free-roaming Pokemon games were going to be, rather than what they are now with, like, Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, which are still very linear games.
Did you get all of the Fox Guys lines? That's my favorite character in the game.
I think I did.
I would love to see more games like Go, or just a revival of Go, but I don't think it's going to happen in the current landscape. Which is really.
What do you want more like?
Go got me out
geolocated games.
Yeah,
or like...
Go got me out of the apartment with Skylar, meeting new people, and
that was
Pokemon
weird.
Let's Go Crystal would be nice.
I mean, Go was the only Pokemon game where I actually got exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, whatever.
What's a game I would like to see put into that style?
You know,
'cause they had Pokemon, they had Pikmin.
Niantic tried to make, what was it? There were a couple. They had one called,
There's a Harry Potter one.
There's a Harry Potter one, yeah.
Well, Ingress is the first one. Ingress is where they got all the map data
Right,
that they basically started with when they launched Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
That was sort of their sales pitches. They're like, oh, we have all this map data for our other game. Now we can just slap IPs onto it.
You know, it's funny. Because they didn't vet all the map data when they brought it in. So you had like Pokemon Go gyms that were on like super fun sites, and you know, like that one city in Pennsylvania that's abandoned because there's a mine fire that's been going on underground for like 60 years now.
Yeah.
But they're making a Kingdom Hearts game like that. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. I don't know.
I mean, the best
Carmen
Pokemon
Sandiego
games are Colosseum and XD, and Mystery Dungeon, because they have some actual depth that the main games do not. I never tried Legends Arceus.
I have probably not played 95% of the Pokemon titles out there.
I mean, neither have I. I've played Fire Red and Platinum, and that's it.
I really enjoyed Sun and Moon.
Oh, sorry, and Coliseum XD.
I regret not importing my Pokemon to Home or whatever it's called, because I actually had some pretty good ones.
A Kingdom Hearts game like what? Pokemon Go? The thing that gets me about Kingdom Hearts side games is that all of them, even the most obscure, are integral and fundamental to the overarching plot and lore.
Yeah, that also is very weird for Kingdom Hearts, but such is how they apparently want to build their universe. Huh. And yeah, Mystery Dungeon's also a good one. It's the good isekai, where the person becomes a not human, and then they're like, oh, but I like this more.
What have we done actually? We've done.
There was a Kingdom Hearts game for phones, before smartphones even, KH-coded, which had a lot of important plot. Never even came out of Japan, until they made a remake for DS much later.
Huh.
No. Okay. Nope.
Let's see. I want to say playdate.
But yeah, I think Carmen Sandiego is one that I would like to see. A geolocated game like that.
You know,
I'm really surprised they haven't done that yet.
well, it's funny because they need to come up with. See, we're in kind of an interesting age with regard to information. You may have noticed. When the Carmen Sandiego games were big, and I had a
Where's Waldo geolocation game, and there's only one in the entire world.
It might take a while.
Yeah, I would think people would look and be like, not in my country, cool, uninstall game.
Back in the day when I was a kid playing on the Apple II, we had where in the USA is Carmen Sandiego and where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, like the two cornerstone titles. And both of those came with copies of Fodor's, which was like a travel guide. Actually, it was a cross between a travel guide and an encyclopedia. It was really like phone book sized, and I'm gesturing, and it had a lot of like interesting facts and relevant travel information and stuff like that. And part of the fun was looking it up, because this was not info you could find easily in 1985 or 86 or whatever. These days you can literally be like, hey Siri, what's the blah 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 and the population of Daytona?
Yeah, wasn't Carmen Sandiego basically one of those educational games?
Yes, absolutely. And
yes.
It was able to integrate the educational aspect in a fairly seamless, interesting way. But what I'm saying is, these days, it would be a different kind of. They'd have to find a different way to encourage and include the educational mechanic in the game, given that you can look up any minute fact for any populated spot in America, at least, instantly.
Yeah, you'd have to make it more about sort of building a sense of direction rather than learning geographic trivia.
Yeah.
Or like tourism trivia.
Yeah, and and you can always build on the deductional aspect as well. But yeah, it would definitely be a challenge to bring that forward into the modern era.
I mean, I can see them doing something with it where they're just like, hey, at least this could be like one mini game for it. It's just like, I'm going to tell you 3 things. There are 2 truths and a lie.
Oh, it's the yes, the classic, the Chinese takeout puzzle. I don't know.
You have to figure it. It's a thing that lets you kind of learn like pseudo myths and things that are like folklore but aren't true.
That could be interesting. I don't know.
And it helps dispel some like bad stereotypes and stuff, because it could be like, yes, this is a thing people will tell you, and I'm telling you here right now, it's not true.
Carmen Sandiego dating sim. Yeah, that's the she stole your heart. Oh, okay.
See, I'm thinking something very different.
Miller, no.
Where in the world is the...
Go on, finish that thought.
And then just imagine a word there about a thing that exists on a female body.
No. Well, there you go. God.
Rick, what are you looking for?
More bones.
Got multi-bopped. You got a combo.
Put.
Just thinking about Kingdom Hearts. Now that Disney owns like Star Wars and the Muppets, is that going to be a thing in Kingdom Hearts games? Has it been a thing already? I want that to be a thing, god damn it.
No. People thought Star Wars was going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3, and supposedly there were plans for it, but, like, they weren't as sure with going forward with that, so they ended up not doing it.
Okay, but what if they put a Bionicles world in Kingdom Hearts?
Why would they do Bionicles?
I don't think Lego and Disney have a...
No, they do not. Lego is their own company.
I was going to say a license, but my brain was like extradition treaty.
You will be sent. You will be sent to Deutschland for your crimes against Lego. Yeah, it rotates counterclockwise.
I want my... Look, Leia's a princess. Now she can be a Disney princess, okay?
But yeah, how are you supposed to do that? Because, like, it's just going to get more vertical.
There we go.
Nice.
Boom. And this is my boomstick. Costs $109.99 at the hunting department. I don't know, I saw that scene pop up recently, and I find it very funny that he goes over the price of it. As if that means anything to the Arthurian people he's talking to.
I still need to watch, like... What do we got? We got Evil Dead. We got the series. We got Evil Dead Rise. We got, the other one, I have not watched any of those because I'm a slacker.
Legotron says someone spotted the foot of one of the indoor walkers in a recent Kingdom Hearts trailer.
Valid. Just a foot.
Just a foot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be one of those things where when they confirm it, they're going to confirm it, like, extremely strongly, and the internet is going to explode for about 48 hours.
Yeah, they do that, don't they?
Yeah, the internet do that.
Internet. Looking at you, internet.
Here's looking at you, internet. Dear God, I wish I wasn't looking at you.
Yeah, the internet's one of those things where if you stare at it too long, you'll go insane.
Still have not found any titanium. I do not know where I will find titanium. Still do not have enough resources. I am very slightly short on viscera.
Oh, so disappointing.
Has anyone played
46 viscera
I think
short.
that's a unique item there's only one of in the world.
I would guess so.
Miller, you like deck building stuff. Have you played Lorcana?
No, but I've watched a couple of games of it, but I've not played it myself. I know some people who've been playing it in paper and digitally.
I can tell you where it is, or at least which map if you want.
Which map's it on?
Where the waves die.
Oh, good me. See, this is what's gonna happen now. Now that I'm off the bean juice, I'm gonna be yawning by about now.
I've been all over where the waves die.
Good. This is the time to go to bed, usually.
Yeah, 10 minutes after stream, I'm just gonna conk the hell out.
Same. I think I slept around 4 hours last night.
Yeah.
Trying to reset my sleep schedule again.
The first morning after, well, no, the second morning, I was off the coffee. I slept for 12 hours.
Oof.
Yeah. It was like baby sleep.
What is a sleep schedule? I forgot after a month and a half in Italy.
Good question.
No one knows.
The sleep is an enigma. But yeah, I've been watching Lorcana a bit. I understand the rules of it. I know how to play it. If someone handed me a deck and they're just like, "Here's the main strategy of the deck," I'd be like, "All right, cool," and then I could play it. But I've not put any money or anything into it yet, and I don't know if I want to.
One of the artists we raided a couple times, Gamut Feathers, did some work for it.
Nice.
Luis Huerta. I only found that out like after the fact.
I like some of the ideas they have with it, like their the ink flood cards or whatever, where they're just like, hey, let's take this character from the Disney movie and put him in an alternate universe. Like, oh, let's take Hercules, but this isn't the Hercules that's starting on his journey and is like this 16-year-old kid. Let's get the Hercules who has like the Nemean lion pelt and all the artifacts that he collected, and he's already done with his trials and everything.
Yeah. See, what they gotta do is they gotta take that, but make it a Smash-like, where you're just pitting these characters against each other in a battle arena. They wouldn't, because, you know, they're Disney. But just imagine it, though.
I can imagine it. That's what Mugen Fighter is for.
Imagine, like, Maleficent casting, you know, Hot Dragon Lady, and then just, you know, Stitch, like... Stitch, like, drops, like, a spaceship on her or something.
Yep.
That's what we're here for, right?
And then the windscreen is just Stitch staring blankly at the camera and going, "Ahana."
What would be the ultimate, like, weird lopsided Disney matchup? Like Tinkerbell versus not on Bald Mountain, Chernobog. Like Tinkerbell versus Chernobog. That's it right there. And she just combos the shit out of him.
Titanium plates.
There you go.
Yeah, where else?
No, not Tinkerbell. I would say, Lady.
From
Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, she's so cute.
Take her versus.
The MCP from Tron.
I'm trying to think of like, okay, what would be the thing that would just fuck her up so bad? Like, what's just the biggest big bad that Disney's ever done?
No.
Oh no, it'd be her and then Beast from Beauty and the Beast, and they're just going at it like rabid dogs.
Oh my god. Why is my... God damn it, my brain is picturing this very clearly and I hate it. Like, my brain's picturing it like animated the way Street Fighter is.
Yeah, no,
You know?
so it's the lady from Lady and the Tramp versus the incinerator from the end of Toy Story 3.
Oh my god. Amazing. Perfect. Fund it. Like Trump says, Disney owns Galactus now. There you go.
Yeah, but Galactus is not as funny, I think, because it's just a really big dude. You need something that's just like... I don't know, it feels more real. Feels more like, well, that dog is going to die.
Oh my god. Lady's just breaking out like insane moves. Bet you didn't know she has like...
What are you talking about now?
It's Smash Brothers type game, but it's Disney characters all fighting each other.
Yeah.
And we're trying to think of ridiculous combinations. It's 101 Dalmatians, but you play as the father, and you have 100 projectiles.
Oh my god!
Throughout the match that do not reload. If you throw a kid at the enemy, that's it. That kid is dead.
Pongo just
That's
summons.
just Kingdom Hearts again.
Well, yes. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is the closest approximation.
Well, yes, Kingdom Hearts is close, but hear me out. Take away the Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Just make it pure brawling. No,
just make it
you know.
pure Disney crap.
Yeah.
Oh, Lady versus Hades.
Oh my god.
It's just James Wood getting incredibly mad at this stupid dog.
This would be amazing.
Wasn't there one of those Disney games with the knockoff amiibos?
I think there was.
There was Dreamlight Valley, but that did not have amiibos, but that is one where it's Animal Crossing with Disney characters. That is one I can think of that sort of has the Disney characters all coming together as like a crossover thing. But again, it's Animal Crossing. It's much more peaceful and placid.
Cat says Disney Infinity.
That's right. Was Disney Infinity like a fighting game? Hold on, let me... Like, I heard about it, and it kind of blipped on my radar for like a minute, and God... Okay, so it's action-adventure with physical
it's not up
toys.
here.
Got it.
With
Action
Toys to
Adventure
Life.
Sandbox. Yeah, Toys to Life. This is probably as close as it would ever get, you know, because they don't really want... I have a feeling that they wouldn't want to do a fighting game with their main brand stuff. I mean, obviously they're willing to do like Marvel vs. Capcom type stuff, but that's different.
Yeah, with Disney Skylanders. There's only one of those Toys to Life games that I got interested in, and it was the one that had Star Fox in it.
Oh,
Something Atlas.
Yeah. I know what you mean, but
Starlink Battle for Atlas.
that's right. Yeah. Still annoyed that there isn't a Star Fox game for the Switch.
Very annoying.
Star something game. It got down to $5 or something and I bought it just for the Star Fox Airwing figurine but never played it.
Nice.
It was an incredibly generic game.
Yeah. If you include the Pixar canon, there are also some characters that could easily translate to fighting games, like Wreck-It Ralph, or Buzz Lightyear, or freaking
Monsters Inc. characters could
Monsters
very
Inc.
easily translate to a fighting game.
or like The Incredibles.
Yep.
Hopper versus
Stitch would go
Sully.
well in a fighting game.
Yeah, give me Frozone versus Jiminy Cricket.
Oh my god. Well, that's not very nice of you.
Well, I'm gonna have to kick your ass.
Well, afraid you're gonna have to die now. What would be a
See, no,
combos?
now you're doing the cricket from Puss in Boots' Last Wish.
Yeah, well,
God.
You're a monster.
I'm just trying to imagine some of like the moves for some of these characters.
Again, this is what Mugen Fighter is for. Just come up with the most stupid characters you can think of and throw them all together. There's like 50 different Gokus in that game.
Does Mugen Fighter allow for like expansion packs? Like, can you like?
that's
You can-
basically the entire point of it.
Is that
Yes.
okay?
It's just a thing where you can throw in as many characters as you want. You can easily make more. It's either Mugen Fighter or there's Smash M, which I believe is a mod of Brawl that allows you to just like add more characters.
Rick, we just hit mid.
I'm looking for Blue Melon.
Oh, I'll bet you are.
How about Bambi?
Bambi. Ha ha ha. Now see, you have to do like the young Link thing and have like
Bambi
to-
versus the Car Crusher from Brave Little Toaster.
you have to have young Bambi, young cute Bambi, and like grown up Bambi. And you also have to do that with Simba. You have to have young Simba and old Simba. And then Bambi versus Simba, of course, because that's, we've all wanted to see that.
I have not found the Blue Melon. Let's see.
Pinocchio, and his nose is a weapon. Like, he just makes it go really long to, like, stab you,
I think that's how all the gritty reimaginings of Pinocchio go.
Nice.
Oh, Liza P was also one of the runs I remember watching. That one was interesting because that game is extremely broken.
Nice.
It's funny because they had Liza P and then they also had what was it, Steel Rising? And like if you look at two screenshots in those games, they look like the exact same game. But one is about the French Revolution and one's about Pinocchio. Oh no.
Oh no.
I need
The
that
whining
viscera.
dog sounds. The whining dog sounds they give when you die hurt the most.
I really want to like come with fighting movesets for the really unlikely cute Disney fighters, like Lilo or so, or freaking. Well, okay, no, Lilo's a bit of a fighter because she does beat up that other girl in the movie.
Yeah.
But who would be the most unlikely?
Wendy.
Oh God.
P from Peter Pan. I would say Alice or Mouse in Wonderland, but I feel like most of her moves would be just like she summons someone else who does something. Like she summons the caterpillar to do a thing. She summons the
Red
Cheshire
Queen
Cat to do a thing. The Red Queen does a thing. I feel like you can have several characters that are like that, where they don't actually do a lot of attacking themselves. All of their moves are them just calling in someone else to do an attack.
Oh my god, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Pooh just beans you with the honey pot.
Piglet cannot not.
Oh my god, Bambi calling in his mom's spirit.
So you say calling your spirit as in like, oh, you get like, you know, spiritual or ghostly help from the mom or something. I'm imagining a zombie deer rising out of the ground.
Oh my god.
Bambi becomes a summoning character who has to like raise zombie deer.
I hate that I can picture this so well. Flower. Oh my god.
Okay, are they suggesting that the blue melon is poisonous?
Yes.
All right,
Would
then.
I mean, would you eat a blue melon? Okay, then.
I don't know. If it's good for you, then sure.
Blue melon.
Well, it's
I
not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat a poisonous blue melon.
Well.
Well, the monkey guy is terminally ill.
R.I.P.
Machine gun. Gimme.
The Pope Smasher.
I can get more ammunition for the machine gun right now.
Seems fine.
I'd say save up for the revolver. Too late.
Nope.
We still have plenty of materials for the revolver. I just need to get more viscera. And I'm getting good enough at this game that I can actually retain it. So.
All right. That was Laika. She rode on a biker, and she stole all our hearts.
Tomorrow, holy turkey on the menu.
Yes. We will
Sounds
be
good.
killing the Pope.
As one does. All right. We are.
The hours are ticking down, Francis.
Say your prayers. All right, we're in, Jackie. Give Jackie all our best. We'll catch you next time.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.